Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, doing the right thing right now is NesTea not having the amount of forces necessarily to do major damage to Genius. But in the meantime, while he has Genius kind of on the run, wondering what he's going to do, he has gotten this expansion, which is going to be under fire right now from Genius. So Genius doing a good job himself at retaliating. And this Mutalisk force is probably a little too small to take on this unit composition made up of almost entirely anti-air capable units. A few zealots in the mix right there, but NesTea going to go and take his advantage to go right back to Genius's base as his army is obviously occupied at his expansion, and see what harassment he can play out here.
Yeah, Genius moving in with 4 Stalkers being warped in at his expansion, but there were just not enough to take out these Mutalisks. Mutalisks continuing to attack Genius's base, and Genius is going to fall for it. He's going to back up, and he's going to, well, I guess fall for it is the wrong word, but he's going to come back to defend the base as opposed to continuing to attack, and those Mutalisks will retreat. The game is still at a stalemate. Genius going to move those probes back, get his expansion saturated again, and we're back to square one.
Yeah, I mean, some really good harassment there from NesTea. Of course, Genius did him, one equal over down to his second expansion of NesTea, so he kind of shut down everything there. In fact, NesTea has to rebuild completely as the probes at Genius's expansion get back to work, but these probes aren't going to last too long, as some Zerglings and Mutalisks, big, pretty healthy army over here for NesTea is going to see what it can accomplish over here at the expansion. But Genius, of course, having brought back his army to his base, is well equipped to handle any attack right now. Genius hallucinating another Phoenix to get some scouting done over here, trying to see if NesTea has taken out the gold mineral rocks, and he will find that he has not. But NesTea opting actually to take an expansion over here up towards the northwest corner, and this is
looks
probably...
like NesTea is going for a 2-pronged attack right now, moving into the main base of Genius with his Mutalisks, and these Zerglings are going to stall for a little bit, but now they're going to move into the expansion line, and
Genius is going to be caught. He's going to be caught between these two forces here. He's going to have to decide where to bring his forces. Most of his forces walked all the way into his main base as the Mutalisks were retreating, but the Zerglings don't take that long to be burned down. So Genius able to handle this. A lot of probes still mining as at his expansion, so he's still going to be okay as far as minerals for the time being. But NesTea moving out here, getting his third expansion built up right now. Drones surely on the way pretty soon for that, and the economy looking like it's going to be tipping its scales towards the Zerg pretty soon.
Ooh, one Dark Templar is going to be walking into NesTea's second expansion here, and it looks like nothing's going to spot it quite yet, but oh yeah, NesTea's going to do the right thing and run away. This queen doesn't stand a chance unless Genius chooses not to chase it, but he's going to back away and give up on this harassment right now.
Yeah, definitely good reflexes there from NesTea, able to react to that very quickly and lose a minimal amount of drones to the invis harassment there from the DT. Now getting his third expansion up and running is NesTea. Drones being hatched over by that expansion. Mutalisk's going to be on patrol again, kind of seeking out this invis, trying to see if they can go harass the main base again, and it looks like they're going to probably be able to do some good damage here to this main base. Archon now out on the field for Genius, but it's going to get farmed down very quickly by this large number of Mutalisks. And these photon cannons
are
are
now
not...
in such numbers that they can quickly take down photon cannons. One volley is pretty much all it takes when you have 26 Mutalisks in one group. And
Genius feeling like this is the time that he needs to counterattack, but he's going to find an absolute wall, a cluster of spine crawlers here. The invis are going to do a good job taking down these spine crawlers. He's going to put them in as a front line of DTs here to take down these spine crawlers. Nothing NesTea can do necessarily to take down these DTs. Now the bulk of Genius's army going to come in here. Some Seekers, some Seers finally being mutated for NesTea, but Genius has a very good sizable force here, and he's going to be able to exert a little bit of harassment until these Mutalisks catch up to them any second now.
yeah, Genius did a great job of focusing down that Overseer, But now NesTea is going to hold back with the second overseer, and well, are those are those Dark Templars still alive? I don't even know. I don't think you can see them on the board right now.
No, I think they got killed pretty quickly once the Seers came out, and these Mutalisks are absolutely going to decimate this army, and Genius is going to frustration quit. No GG there for Genius, and NesTea able to kind of use Mutalisks, as you said earlier on in the game, Bayes. He's going to need 20, 30 Mutalisks to handle these photon cannons, and what did he do? He built 20 or 30 Mutalisks, and that's how he ended up winning the game.
And you also notice he upgraded the damage of those Mutalisks to upgrade level 2 damage, which I believe adds exactly 2 damage. And when you throw that in with 22 Mutalisks, that's an extra 44 damage per volley, and that really adds up and makes those photon cannons entirely useless against those Mutalisks.
Yeah, as we saw when he finally went in and decimated the main base, the photon cannons absolutely were rendered useless at that point in the game. Not fully upgraded, but nicely upgraded Mutalisks in a large number, able to exert a tremendous amount of authority in that base. Archons starting to come out on the field for Genius, but just too little, too late as far as that was concerned. Maybe should have opted for more of an anti-air strategy. But I think at the same time it was a good idea for Genius to try out the DTs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it worked to a certain extent, but he was just kind of caught out by the onslaught of Mutalisks, I think, in this game.
Yeah, from what I could see, for the first 10 to 12 minutes of the game, Genius was preparing for a huge Zergling rush.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He had poor scouting early on, and he did not really see that air rush coming. The fast expand and the air rush are not often combined, and it turned out to be a very deadly combination for NesTea to pull out today.
Yeah, I mean, very, very common in Brood War, especially for the Korean players, to do the fast expand to Mutalisk strategies. So we see that a lot. We've seen it from Fruit Dealer, and we've seen it from July Zerg that we've featured a few times here on the Wood League. So the Koreans, definitely favor that strong Mutalisk strategy. And I think that maybe on purpose or maybe inadvertently, I think that NesTea did kind of a very useful bait and switch early on in the game. He even with 2 Zerglings kind of just crawling around the map. He was able to get his macro up, to tech up to the flying units, while Genius was of the singular mindset that more Zerglings are on the way. And I think that's really what won him the game in the end.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, and so on that note, on behalf of myself, Jadius, Bayes, and the Wood League, we thank you very much for tuning into this game. Of course, as I said, NesTea going to be taking on Boxer Prime, or Mini Boxer, Boxer, Fake Boxer, Tiny Boxer, Little Boxer, Imitation Boxer, if you will.
How about we just call him Prime?
Sure. I mean, he wants to be called Boxer. I think he put his name Boxer Prime so that people would be able to differentiate between him and the older, more legendary Boxer who was actually thwarted in the semifinals by NesTea, if I'm not mistaken. I think NesTea took Slayer's Boxer, the older Boxer, down 4-0 to get to the finals, and so NesTea playing great craft right now. And hopefully it's going to be an excellent final. Boxer Prime plays Terran as well, so the 2 Boxers in question, both Terran players. So it's going to be a Terran Zerg final on November 13th. So tune into that if you can catch it. If not, I'm sure that we'll be talking about it and hopefully bringing you the replay of the finals, the notable moments of the finals when they become available. But until then, we thank you very much for tuning into this game, and we will see you folks next time.